So, today's video, we're watching a Plat 1 support on PC playing Lucio and a little bit of Kiriko. They say, so I used to play a lot of quick play, but recently I've been grinding the ranks to improve my skills and knowledge of the game. I peaked my rank when I reached Diamond 5, but I deranked and now I'm trying to get back to it. I love playing Lucio and I've been trying to get better at playing him, so any critique on my gameplay would be much appreciated. Sometimes I get confused by when I should get aggressive and when I should get passive, and I think that my amp management isn't really good. I saw a Lucio guy that said Lucio gets no value in greater ranks if he is not aggressive and constantly poking the enemy team, and would like your opinion on this take. I will say, Lucio was my go-to on my grind to top 500 on support, which obviously, like, support's not my strongest, but, like, yeah, I barely got aggressive. Think of it more along the lines of, like, yes, if you can find ways to get good aggression as Lucio to especially pressure backline, go for it. But don't feel like you're forced to have to. I think what you need to concentrate more on is how to give your teammates the value of speed boost, and that's going to be what it is. And Tog, thanks to 20 months of team, thank you. Okay, that was an interesting start.
I can't even count that high.
Don't be afraid to start off with an early heal boost here. And the only reason I'm going to say this, I want you to think about your downtime there, about what you're doing. This is where, like, already, there you go. That was your first boost of the game. And the interesting part is, like, that probably could have been close to your third coming up right now. Okay, so you're, yeah, I see. Okay, so just to start off here, and this is the problem with what you were talking about, right? You feel like you have to go to their back line, but like you also have teammates that rely so heavily on what you could bring to the table that leaving your Reinhardt there by themselves with no HP, right? That is just unlucky. That just, you know what, can't do anything about that one. But like, you need to be careful in that type of situation, right? You go to their back line, you have an Ana and a Reinhardt that can benefit from you making really good plays. Instead, you end up not giving any speed boost, you go to their back line to do nothing, and then here you are. Reinhardt benefits from your speed boost greatly. So you want to be able to use boost for your Rein, right? Also, if you're going to speed boost out of spawn, wait for your teammate there rather than use your boost. Your Rein and Ana both needed you in that situation, but you were so like concentrated on going to their backline right away that they didn't have anybody there and they just kill your Ana immediately. Like your Rein will benefit from your speed boost. Guaranteed. Also, you want to shoot at the floor when they're on the ground. Jono, thanks for the 7 months of the tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. 7 months. Big slams. That right there just describes Reinhardt's. Your Rein hits a shatter, shatters a bunch. Their Rein hits a shatter, kills the Rein with a shatter, and then nobody dies there. Blue, thanks for the 8 months for the Feature Craft Up, and then Nato, thanks for the Feature Craft Up. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, you're just all over the place right now. Straight up. You're just all over the place. You don't know where you want to go yet. You think you need to go to their back line. You're not working with your team. You're... Good play. There you go. So just to slightly talk about what you're doing right here in a second, sometimes it's okay to go back to the basics sometimes, even no matter what rank you are. Because right now you're in this mindset of like you need to do like 100 things, when in reality, if you just want to be the best teammate you can be for your team right here, speed boost your team in, speed boost your team out, heal boost your team when they're getting low, go for the back line when the timing is right. Right now it feels like you have to go to their back line, you have to do this, you have to do that. When in reality, you just need to kind of simplify what you're doing. And don't get me wrong, while riding around and doing all that is fun, that also comes with time of like also recognizing like what you can do to help your team. Like right there, that was a good speed boost in Ramatra. That was good. Then you can use beat if you need to. I think I'm okay with that one. That was a good go of things. You recognize that you had an opportunity, you speed boost your Ramatra and you give yourself a chance. That's a good example of what you want to do when you're on Lucio. What rank is this? Somewhere in Plat, I think. They were Diamond at one point. So that's what I see right there. There you go. I'm okay with this beat. Bit of a tempo. They didn't mean to nano you, but it is what it is. All right. Back with your team. Good. There you go. Now you're settling a bit. Now you're settling a bit. I don't mind this. This is a good idea, by the way. That was a good tee. And what makes that like aggressive play good for you in comparison to what you were doing prior. Do you notice how in that situation you kind of stuck with your team? Then when you went for the Sojourn, it was still within range of your team. You're going for someone who's out of position on their team that you can get that can be beneficial while also giving the benefit of everything else to your team. Your team still was benefiting from speed boost. They were benefiting when you had heals up. That was good. Now you're being aggro. We'll see how this one goes. I'm still okay with this because you have numbers and your team's there. So that timing works, right? It's all about timing. That timing right there is a successful timing. All right, here we go. Any of the react stuff will be my Discord. This is what I'm talking about again. I want you to look at where you're at there. That's where you're not really helping your team. Now, you're wall riding, and I get it. I do that sometimes, too. But I want to point out to you where, like, you're not really doing anything to help anybody at that point. You're just kind of going around the map. Daxter Jones, thanks for the 2 months of the tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. Like, you notice how you were far away from your Ramatra, and your Ramatra was trying to push up and trying to create that space for your team? You were wall riding on a wall, did nothing with that wall ride, put on speed boost, did nothing to help your Ramatra, and then finally when your Ramatra needed help and they ulted, you're not there to be able to give them the play they need. And you don't have the ability to keep them alive. See what I'm saying? So, yep. That's why I want to get you the mindset of like, you know, it's okay to start with the basics of Lucio and then recognize timing. Timing for you right now, the biggest issue you really ran into is that you think you need to go to their backline to pressure them at all times, and you end up just stuck in the middle of nowhere. You can also wall ride and still be helpful to your team. Your teammates benefit from your speed boost and your heal boost. So what you want to do here is you want to be able to keep your team up with a heal boost right now. Just go into a heal boost. I'm going to explain something here. And keep in mind, I'm not the best Lucio in the world. But the reason why I won so many games on Lucio as we did the top 500 grind for support for a little bit there was because of what I bring to the team with this value of the speed boost and the heal boost, right? You are underutilizing your boosts. What you're doing right now, I couldn't even tell you, right? Like, I know you're trying to pressure their Sojourn a little bit, but like, now you're on Mercy Lucio. You need to be with your team even more so now. Good beat. You're just not using your boost a ton. It's like, good heal boost. It really comes down to like, I feel like you just don't utilize your boost as much. Now remember, you're also on Mercy Lucio now, so your tank is gonna get shredded. So unless you swap off right now or your Mercy swaps off, your tank is gonna have no fun. Okay, I was gonna say, someone needed a swap. I don't even know why your teammate went Mercy on that one, just only because like Mercy Lucio is a tough comp. What's wrong with Mercy Lucio? Not enough healing. Especially with the DPS passive now. Mercy Lucio was a struggle comp to begin with, even before the DPS passive. The DPS passive only made that 10 times worse. Big slam! Good cleanser, by the way. You're keeping your teammates, like, alive. It allows them to be aggressive, and then they don't get rolled, obviously, which is a big part of that. Good job there. Yeah. Oh, I know that in some ranks you'll see Mercy Lucio. I'm just explaining as to why Mercy Lucio has gotten worse now. The DPS passive makes it so much more worse than it already was. Or so much worse than it already was, sorry. Like, you can't, the comp itself cannot sustain the heals that is needed to be able to keep your tanks alive in current Overwatch. I mean, you're still able to get to point, but like, this might be tough. Touch the point, by the way. Touch the point. I mean, that wouldn't have mattered, but at least give your team a chance there, right? At least give your teammates a chance there. I think that's all I want. That's what I wanted to see the most of, was at least giving them an opportunity. All right, it's all good. Remember, being with your team's important. Going for the back line, while fun, it's all about time-ins, and right now your time-ins don't exist. You're trying to force the play, right? Here we go. All right, well, you lost somebody right away. You're not with your tank. You went around the other way. Your tank now needs help. Your tank doesn't have speed boost or a heal to get out of there, and you got out safely. Wonderful. Remember, if you're not going to use your boost, I don't mind this play, by the way. Only reason why I don't mind you going right now, you're talking about timings. You were down multiple there. Getting out wasn't going to change anything. So going in and trying to at least get on like the backline pressure like their Widow, I get that part. That part makes sense. It's the 5v5 issues where I see that one, where you go in and try to like engage that. Be careful. Try to use your movement there. Like, you want to use your movement all the time and like do all this stuff. Try to like use your movement around the point a few times here. Force them to make a mistake. Things like that can be super cool. You know, when you're in a 3v5 and like the Widow's here, okay, I get it, right? By the way, when you go for a play like that, make sure to reload. We've all been there. You know where I do a lot of? Where you have no ammo as Roadhog and you hook somebody and you go, well, that was a waste. That's one. Yeah. What comp you on? Okay, you're still on a decent comp for your team. Although your tank did switch to Sigma, which Sigma can struggle against Ryan. But it also was Blizzard World, so in theory Ryan will struggle on Blizzard World. So it's kind of both. Oh, I remember. You gotta remember they have walls there. So like once again, you're trying to go for these really cool plays, but like they have walls up. Your team needs you. I'm gonna be real with you. Like your number one issue so far is you said you saw something on what you were told to go for their backline, etc., but like the problem is that you're not even involved in the team fights. You're not helping your team. You're not bringing the utility of what Lucio brings, which is the ability to change the tempo, like how you play, your speed boost, your heal boost. Like your heal boost, you can get 20% ult charge on a good heal boost. Maybe 30% if like you're taking a bunch of poke damage during that. Great EMP by your teammates. So for you not to use your boost a ton, to stay away from your team, and then try to take like these isolated 1v1s that aren't even like the best isolated 1v1s, you're just asking to go back and spawn consistently. Siddiq, thanks for the 6 months to tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. And that's really what's happening. You're in front of your team. You still have beat. Okay, great. You used the heal boost. Thank you. Thank you. You know what it is? Good beat. It almost feels like you're doing a whole lot of like... You're doing the equivalent of like button mashing. Where like you feel like you're doing a ton, but in reality you're not doing like... Remember when I was playing Elden Ring the other day and I was button mashing I was button mashing the like when I would dodge? Big slam! Like the equivalent of that. Where it's like you're hitting buttons, but it isn't resulting in anything like helpful to your team. And that's what you're doing right now. At least that's how I'm seeing it. I can't believe your team has still held this, by the way. Well, they're on Mercy's end, so they're going to run into the same issue with a little bit more high damage output. So their tank is going to struggle a little bit. Now the snowball stopped. All right, here we go. I'm ready. Huge. Going back, okay. With your team, I used the boost. Remember, you want to be involved with your team. You do have numbers now, though, so this is where you want to get aggressive as a team. You don't want to feed, but you can get aggressive. By the way, this is where you want to throw in those, like, sneaky heal boosts. When there's a bunch of poke damage happening, get that ult charge. I'm telling you, you'll have your boost in time. Remember, it's okay to heal boost at any point. It's okay to speed boost. There you go. I'll take it. I will take that. Even if that wasn't the most ideal one, I will take that. I'm telling you. Kitty Mouse, thanks for the gift and stuff. Thank you. Appreciate it. Nice. Dude, how is your team still holding this in like these like tight corridors? Heal boost right away. Heal boost. I want to tell you why I want you to heal boost. Okay. This is where you're going wrong sometimes with your boost timings. You know your teammates are taking damage. You don't even need to see that your teammates are taking damage. So like at that point, like why not go into a heal boost? You're close to beat. Then you get beat. Then your teammates survive. Now you're not in like this really awkward like you have to use all your ultimates and like waste stuff at the end of the game. Just like sometimes as Lucio, it's okay to like almost pre-heal. I'm not saying use your heal boost like before anything happens, but the moment your teammates start to take a bunch of damage or they're being aggressive, you can go into a heal boost at that point. You can lead off with a like a speed boost if you want to, but like you just kind of got almost predict that your teammate's taking a bunch of damage, and the next thing you know, you get 20% ult charge. All because you know they're taking damage. It was a good poop, I agree. I'm waiting. Oh, big slam! That's tough. That's tough. All right, so you didn't win the game. I'm just going to kind of go back to this in general. I really do think that your number one issue is just you're not really working with your team. It really comes down to going back to the basics, right? And a lot of the time, I think people can be like, oh, back to the basics. Like, that doesn't sound fun. A lot of anything, it doesn't even have to be video games, just the fundamental basics of things are like, if you have that like really strong, like you're gonna, like everything else that you do past that can go really well. And sometimes people forget about that. And in Overwatch, when you start to be like, oh, I saw a video where as you climb, you need to be more involved and go into their backline, you've taken that literal. And instead of being good at the stuff you want to be good at, Lucio, before you go to that next step, you skipped a step, right? You just straight up skipped a step. So what you need to do is just go back to the basics, concentrate on being with your team, speed boosting your team in, speed boosting your team out, using your heal boost when you predict damage is happening. And then next thing you know, you're going to have more beats, you're going to have more uptime on what you're doing, you're going to win more team fights, and then you can be a bit more aggressive. You don't need to go in 5v5s. Like, right, when it's 5v5 and you're going in, that is when you're going to be that Lucio who gets picked off and finishes the game with 18 deaths. But when you time it in like 4v5s, 3v5s, you can set the tempo to not only bring your team in aggressively, you can also play aggressive. It's all about timings, and that's what your number one issue was. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to all 3 YouTubes if you haven't. If you want to submit your own spectating, look in the description below. You'll see my Discord. That's where you do that. Leave a comment. All of that will help. We also record these live on stream. You can see the Twitch chat right below the webcam, so stop by if you haven't. With that being said, I hope you have an amazing day/night.